Hi, my name is Megan Moore. I am an ICU nurse, a mom, and a wife. I recently left Miami to drive to New York to help with the COVID crisis, and I just wanted to share my story with you. I was working in Miami as an ICU nurse. We were starting to see a lot of influx of patients in the ICU in Miami, and so we opened up a COVID unit where all of the COVID patients were going. I was being floated there quite often, and I was working with the COVID patients. I was really starting to get nervous about bringing it home to my family. I couldn't live with myself if I was the reason that my children or my husband was to get the virus, and I was their only exposure since they were quarantining at home. And so I decided to move into a hotel where I stayed for about 2 weeks while I was working. After a lot of thought and a lot of prayer, I felt like I needed to go to New York where I was needed the most, where they were being overran and they needed nurses, especially ICU nurses. I arrived here in New York 2 weeks ago, went straight to work. As a nurse, you usually get an orientation and get to learn the hospital and the charting system and, what the expectations were. Well, here there isn't time for that. Our ICU went from 19 patients to over 50 ventilated patients. It is overwhelming and scary. I was so afraid of getting sick. I still am afraid on certain days, but I really have been frivolous in prayer and feel like God is watching out for me. I have received cards and just all kinds of emails and texts, and the support has just really kept me going. But the other aspect of that has been the families. The hospitals are closed down to the families. I've held many hands of people's loved ones as they take their last breath, and being the person to call and tell somebody that is at the rates that we're doing is horrible. So I just pray for you all back in Miami. I hope everybody is doing well. We'll be here for a total of at least 8 weeks. So continue in prayer for me, please, and keep sending texts and emails and tell a nurse how much she's loved. I thank you for your time, and I'll see you soon, Miami.